Today on 9 News Mornings, Denver no longer has the resources to help migrants the way they have been.
It really does boil down to the fact that it is not a sustainable effort in Denver.
Now the city is changing how they help people. Colorado's meteorologists are looking at new changes when it comes to forecasting fire danger, hoping to make it easier to issue a warning. And bittersweet news for the Avs as they prepare for the playoffs. They're doing it without their captain. 9 News Mornings starts now. And we start with breaking news here in Denver. A shooting suspect has been arrested after a chase that ended with a crash. That's at Virginia and Galena. That's near the intersection of Alameda and Havana. Police say they provided medical treatment to the suspect after that crash. Denver Police, Thornton Police, and Adams County deputies are on the scene this morning. We'll keep you updated on this one.
And some more breaking news. A Denver police officer is hurt after responding to a disturbance overnight on Pennsylvania Street. That officer is expected to be okay. We are going to be working to learn more about what exactly happened and how the officer was hurt. Of course, we will update you as we learn more information. In the meantime, we're going to give you a little sneak peek outside over downtown Denver. Things looking calm on 25 over there, and the city just glowing at this time of the morning. We are cooling down a little bit after some very, very warm temperatures, but nothing we can't handle.
Yeah,
It'll be
we've been
fine
here
then.
before,
Right.
with the cooler weather, right?
Exactly.
Just like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and now.
I think we've had cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, I blocked it out of I just blocked it. I pretended like it didn't happen.
Right, it's not
Up and
too
down,
bad.
It's not terrible. It's like 40s, right?
Right,
It's not terrible.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to top out in the 40s, low to mid 40s for highs today. So certainly a shift from the record-breaking heat that we have had over the last several days, or at least a couple days ago. But it's not going to be too bad, and we do have moisture associated with this system. Let's go ahead and take a look. There you can see, this is our HD Doppler, and you can see that system that originated up there in the Pacific Northwest dropping down, bringing snow already to the high country. We have a winter weather advisory for 9,000 feet and above, anywhere from about 6 to 12 inches of snow. That will be gradually pushing off to the east. There is that winter weather advisory I talked about. Also, we have the wind gusts. Those winds are going to be picking up this afternoon, so could reduce visibility if you are driving through the mountains. Here and in the lower elevations here in the metro area, we are expecting scattered showers, both rain and a snow mix. Transition to all snow as we head into the evening and overnight hours. We are going to top out in the low to mid 40s today. Those winds also going to pick up. Expect breezy conditions with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. And your 7-day forecast, hey, I tell you what, not too bad. We just have a couple days with some snow, winter-like weather, then we're back in the mid 60s by the second half of the weekend.
Keely, thank you. Right now, we want to get you started with a live look from CDOT. They're showing us mostly Colorado Boulevard. I was hoping they'd adjust and show us more of I-25 because we've got a southbound I-25 crash in the area of Colorado. I checked the university cameras, the Evans Avenue cameras, all the ones kind of surrounding to see if I could find it. Wasn't able to, but just something to watch out for if you're getting ready to travel that way. As far as what things look like elsewhere across the metro, we are in good shape driving into Commerce City. You've got an 11-minute ride in on westbound 76 right now. No issues on I-25 between downtown and the Denver Tech Center. 14-minute ride northbound, 15-minute ride southbound.
All right, thanks so much for that, Erica. Well, Denver says it's not getting enough money to support migrants on the scale they've been for months. So starting next month, they're going to be changing who they can help and by how much. The city says it's spent more than $12 million helping people who have arrived in the city. Since December, the city has supported more than 6,400 people, first in emergency shelters, at rec centers, and now through a lot of hotel rooms. A few dozen people are still arriving each day, with just under 700 people in shelters run by the city and its nonprofit partners. The city says it needs federal funds to help out, but the funding can only be used to help people who are known to immigration officials. So the only people who would be sheltered are those who went through a port of entry when they crossed the border, or those who've already initiated the asylum process once they got here.
It really does boil down to the fact that it is not a sustainable effort in Denver to be able to support all migrants coming in from our southern border.
The city says it would still like to help people arriving in the city who aren't eligible for shelters by connecting them with other services. The new rules are kicking in on May 8th.
The Biden administration wants to give DACA recipients access to affordable health care coverage for the first time. The administration is proposing a rule expanding the definition of who's considered eligible for Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act insurance marketplace. The move would expand access to affordable health insurance to 580,000 people brought to the U.S. without documentation as children. The White House says it expects to get this done by the end of the month.
Well, children living at the Samaritan House shelter in Denver can now see a pediatrician just a few steps away from their room. In partnership with Every Child Pediatrics, an on-site clinic with primary care mental health services is open twice a week for families staying at the shelter. Samaritan House serves up to 40 families every week who often don't have the time or the transportation to get to a doctor's appointment.
If we could address these level of barriers and reduce those barriers, it's really giving the opportunity to our families to come and get and have their children seen. We're going to meet you with where you're at and provide what we can now.
Once those families find permanent housing, they can continue going to one of 4 other Every Child Pediatrics clinics throughout the metro area. The clinic has been seeing patients since March, but it's going to be having a grand opening on Thursday.
The Park County Sheriff's Office has identified what started the Badger Creek fire, and officials say they plan to seek criminal charges. That fire sparked near Harstel, which is about 20 miles east of Buena Vista. It is now 100% contained after scorching 41 acres there. After investigating, the Sheriff's Office says they believe it was the result of a homeowner's, quote, careless actions violating the local fire ban.
Firefighters are still working to put out the Rampart fire burning just southeast of Woodland Park in Teller County. It's still holding at around 20 acres since it started on Tuesday afternoon. The fire is now 100% contained.
For more than 100 years, a coal fire has been burning underground in Boulder County. Officials were looking into it as a potential cause of the Marshall Fire.
Now the state's Division of Reclamation, Mining and Safety is investigating the area and has plans to put that fire out in some of the spots where it has the potential to start a fire above ground. 9 News reporter Katie Eastman explains.
Most people come to the Marshall Mesa Trailhead in Boulder County to bike or hike. But Jeff Graves comes here for a different reason. As the program director for the Inactive Mine Reclamation Program, he's looking at what's under all this land.
There's a pretty significant disconnect between what happened in a lot of these locations historically and how the land is used currently.
The place where people now enjoy the outdoors used to be a giant mine in the late 1800s.
They were hauling millions of tons of coal out of this valley.
Just over the hill.
The mines made this area a lot of money, but they also created a safety hazard.
But you can see the steam and smoke coming out of the ground.
Too, right?
Yeah.
At some point, more than 100 years ago, a coal fire started underground. That fire still smolders today.
The concern is obviously that if you have combustible material that gets exposed at the surface, you can have an ignition of grasses or other vegetation, and then you can have a wildfire that ignites as a result of that coal or that hot material being exposed at the surface.
Graves says that's happened here before, and we know investigators were looking at this site as a potential cause of the Marshall Fire, too.
In the parking area here we drilled in.
Recent federal money is allowing Graves and his team to look into how big the coal fire is and how hot it's burning.
And then when we identify areas that are high risk, we take a proactive approach and address those, as quickly as we can.
In the past, Graves says his office has been reactive to hotspots, but the federal money is allowing them to be more proactive. Investigators still haven't figured out or determined the cause of the Marshall Fire. The Boulder County Sheriff says evidence is suggesting it started in more than one place. They say it's possible a couple fires started almost at the same time and then turned into one giant fire. That includes the long smoldering underground coal fire. Video also showed a fire burning on property owned by the religious group 12 Tribes. There's a lawsuit accusing Excel's power lines of starting the fire. In late December, then Sheriff Joe Pelley said the investigation was in its final stages. The sheriff's office said they have no update on when it's going to be released.